right, we're going to turn our attention now to two stories that broke this week as far as the national teams are concerned, of course, looking at rugby and cricket. So firstly, Sanele, we all saw the announcement of Faf Du Plesis that he has officially retired from Test cricket.
Yeah.
So now he's going to be focusing more on the T20 side of things, also building up to the T20 World Cup that's coming up later on this year. So the ironic thing here is that exactly on the same day last year, Faf actually stepped down as captain. As the captain of the Test side, and now exactly a year later, official retirement.
Yeah, official retirement. I mean, we've been speaking about the fact that he should have retired about a year ago instead of stepping down as captain. He should have retired, but I mean, I don't want to lie. It's been a love-hate relationship between myself and Faf. I mean, let's be honest.
Why is that?
I haven't been a fan of him.
Why?
I mean, he doesn't.
Put it into perspective. Why?
For me, look, it all goes back to that 2011 World Cup where it was him and JP Domini, that partnership. I feel
you haven't forgiven him for that.
I have, but I'm just telling the backstory that my dislike stems from that. And he hasn't been, I don't know, like he's an ugly cricketer. Like in the way he bats, he's not one of those greats where you remember. So I had that thing of like the 2011 World Cup where I feel him and Domini just blew it against New Zealand. And there was that thing of like, he's just an ugly cricketer, but I mean, when you take the emotions out of it, I mean, look at the man's stats. I mean, this man has saved our asses. Every century that he's scored has always been a test-saving century, if you will, or setting something, or taking us out of the deep end kind of century. So, I mean, he saved us plenty of times. I mean, off camera we were speaking about his debut where he scored a century against Australia, and he saved us in that test match as well. So he's been the epitome of a person who is, in short, our savior.
Yeah, definitely.
Every time we've been in trouble, Faf would come and deliver the goods. Take nothing away from what he's done. Yes, I bag on him a lot. It's just my privilege of being a fan. But when you take out all the emotions of being a fan, you just look at him as a cricketer. Son, he definitely has... Yeah, he has my respect. I don't want to lie to you. I mean, he's a stalwart of South African cricket. Can never be forgotten. His contribution in all formats of the game. And I don't know. It's quite sad for me to see the bastard go. Well, I have nobody else at that level to talk shit about. But no, look, on a serious note, it's sad. I wish him well for the future. But at least he's sticking around for the T20, like you said, and the ODI. So we'll see more of him. But I'm happy with the call. It's for me at the same time it's the right time. In fact, for me the right time was a year ago, but at least he didn't drag it too long where he sacrifices his own legacy as a cricketing legend within the country. So
so 10 test centuries if I'm not mistaken, 21 half centuries, and also an average of I think 40.2. So that's pretty decent. And also the bittersweet thing about a lot of people that they felt was that he left after putting in such a good shift against Sri Lanka, almost getting his double ton there, ending at 199. So he was someone who was obviously within the side, and he was not there for show. He was performing, he was putting in the good numbers.
Yes, he wasn't there just on his namesake. He did put in the shift when everybody was shocking. And trust me, everybody was shocking. Faf came through, like I say. He's the guy who always puts up his hand and delivers, and he did that. I mean, he recently, like you said, the Sri Lanka Test match. I mean, look what he did there, almost got his first double century. So he ended statistically and on form, speaking on form wise, I think he ended at the top. So big ups on him, and we thank him for his service. Myself, I thank him for his service, the Boston. But look, it's been good times with Faf, and
obviously wish him the best of luck in the future, and hopefully he's going to put in a good shift for the boys in the T20 World Cup, because it's really not looking good at the moment in terms of the shorter formats as well, in all formats, to be honest. So we're going into the World Cup, and we're hoping that his experience is going to help in the side.
It will, but it won't. I mean, we are so shambolic as a team. He will bring something to the table, no doubt, but we're just so shit. like from management all the way down.
All right, moving from one national team player to the next, of course, we also, the worst kept secrets basically in rugby was the move of Kolisi from the Western Province to the Sharks, officially unveiled as a Sharks player in Durban on Wednesday, and it's finally happened, Sanele. Obviously, after the takeover at the Sharks, and we all saw that obviously Kolisi with his affiliations with the Rock Nation and also being in part of the Sharks takeover. I think 51% of the ownership of the Sharks. So we all saw it coming, basically.
Yeah, it was like you said, this was the worst kept secret. Let's be honest. I mean, it was going on for we knew that it was going to move a month before the actual signing. So it was all over the publications. So it was basically what happened recently was just a confirmation of what we knew. But newsworthy nonetheless. I mean, nothing is ever final until there's the signing on the dotted line. So that has happened, and it's good. Big news for the Sharks, big news for himself as well. And let's just see where the franchise can go from here. Let's see what that can develop into, not only for the main Sharks team, the main franchise, but what will that mean in development sector of things, KZN, what will that mean, the takeover? We'll still have to see what that means. So happy for the Sharks, happy for himself.
11 years at the Western Province, he basically built his name there, his legacy, and also went on to captain the side and go on to captain the Springboks as well. So he's pretty much done it all as far as the Western Province is concerned. And now he's moving over to a team that is basically on the ascendancy right now. The Sharks are in a very good place. So he's going to come in obviously as someone who's going to be fighting for his place. He also mentioned the fact that he's not someone who's going to come in just because he's Kolisi coming in and just walk into the team. He's going to have to fight, gain his fitness. He hasn't played a lot of rugby in recent times because of injuries and COVID. So to get into the team, he's really going to have to fight.
Look, he is going to have to fight, but I feel like that's always the PR statement, I have to fight for him. I mean, this is the South African rugby winning captain here, son. I mean, his spot is
but that also doesn't mean
no,
that
definitely
he's just going to walk into the team.
Standard, but I mean, looking at his fingerprints during the takeover of the Sharks and considering who he is, I feel that there would be a little bit more lenient. Obviously, he wouldn't want that. The Sharks don't want that, and obviously the PR team will say that's not the case. But let's be honest, son. I mean, Kolisi, come on. I mean, number 6, But on a serious note, he needs to regain his fitness. He knows that. There's nobody who needs to tell him what he needs to do.
He knows it. He knows it himself.
So he's going to have to fight and be fit and gain some form, because it's all about the form factor for me. So we'll see how it goes. Let's see whether this whole him being influential for the takeover has any effect on him mentally, because such things outside of the game of rugby can also take a toll sometimes on the actual game of rugby. So we'll see how it goes. I hope it goes well, to be honest with you. It just seems like, for me, from a neutral point of view, it just seems like a lateral move. He had achieved all he could with the Western Province at 11 years. He did what he could, and now I think it's a lateral move this side of the coast. So let's see if we can bring the Sharks up, because the Sharks have a good project
happening
right now. So let's see if we can make them go over that line, and hopefully can, but we'll see. Everything is still so uncertain right now in terms of how he'll play, how they'll gel together. I feel they will gel well, but we'll see.
People have been talking about the captaincy of the Sharks. Obviously, the Sharks have already come out and they rubbished the claims that Kolisi will be the captain and taking over from Lukanyu. Immediately, that's not going to happen. What do you think about that?
I don't think he'll want to be captain, to be honest with you. I think Lukanyu will stay captain. I think
as it should be.
As it should be. So I don't have any problems with that. I mean, I think it's right for the Sharks to rubbish it. And to be honest with you, I don't think Usia will be like, I deserve to be. I don't think so. He's just going to go in because he's still trying to fit in. He's not from here. You understand? So he's going to try and fit in. Once he fits in, he's just going to play his game. I mean, give Lukanyu a chance. I mean, he's the man who's been holding the armband. And he's been good for the team. So why disturb a working formula? So I don't think he's gonna say, hey, make me captain. He's just not. The Sharks have rubbished it, and I'm sure he's like, listen, I'm happy just being the flag, and that's it. So you know how the media
and the fans, to be fair, because a lot of people started asking the question that, I mean, he is the national team captain. After all, shouldn't he come in and be captain of the Sharks?
No. I think for him, he just wants to focus on his rugby, and that should be the case because, like we said, injuries, hasn't played much, so he needs to. He can't be taking another extra responsibility when he's not in form. And even if he is in form, I think let it stick to Lukhanyo and let him play his game. And I think that is the best formula right now. Everybody calm down. Lukhanyo is captain and he'll stay captain. I think it will be irresponsible if the Sharks make Lentuza Kolisi captain. But look, it is what it is.
Yeah, really exciting times for people in KZN. Of course, we're sort of like in the ascendancy with the Sharks, and we're just really looking excited about what's going to be happening now with the inclusion of Kolisi.
Look, I mean, we are moving up as KZN, but like I said, I'm more interested in the development. What does this mean for development? Does it mean anything? Are we just happy that the cream will only stay at the top? Will it go down and develop the development sides, that kids who want to be professionals one day? That's where I'm focused on. What does this management takeover mean for me? Like, that's what I want. Or not for me personally, but what does it mean in the greater scope of things? So that's what I'm really interested in. But hopefully, like we said, it means something. It's not just going to stay at the top. So yeah, guys, peace out. We'll catch you again next week. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and press the notification bell. And like I said, next week. Even if you just cut it.
Yeah.